The 19th century, we see cake recipes calling for buttermilk and cocoa powder. The resulting cake would have a dark burgundy color. As a matter of fact, mahogany, oxblood, and devil's food cakes are all examples. One theory states that in the early 20th century, the merging of devil's food and mahogany cake recipes gave us red velvet cake. I say one theory because the origin of red velvet cake is unknown, and the regional popularity of the dessert today doesn't give us any clues. Red velvet cake is very popular in the southern U.S. However, the Waldorf Astoria in New York City claims the origin from the 1920s, and they still serve it today, though the Waldorf Astoria cookbook itself refers to it as a southern recipe. Eaton's department store in Toronto also claims the origin. At any rate, red velvet cake became very popular in the 50s and 60s, and red dye was added to the recipe. Then red dye number 2 was linked to cancer, and the cake's popularity plummeted. That is, until its triumphant return in the late 20th century. Why? Well, many give credit to the movie Steel Magnolias, which featured the dessert, and side note, based in Louisiana. Today, happy Mother's Day, let's do red velvet cake. Preheat your oven to 320. If you have a convection option, use it. If not, it'll be fine. 2 8-inch round cake pans. This one's spring. I wish they both were. We'll make it work. Coconut oil. Let's get these greased up. Mixing bowl, the dry ingredients. 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I like King Arthur. 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. New mixing bowl, wet ingredients. 6 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. I'm going with avocado. 3/4 cup of white sugar. Yes, sugar is a wet ingredient. Let's whip this for a few minutes. Creamy and mixed. We're going to start adding 3 eggs, one at a time, mixing between each. Get that all creamed together well, and then 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, 1 1/2 teaspoons of white vinegar. 1/4 cup of liquid red food coloring. Yes, that's comically large. I thought I was buying a pint. It was a quart. Mix all of this well. Yes, it looks like special effects from a horror movie. It'll be fine. We're going to add about half of our dry ingredients to our wet, and we're going to fold this in gently. Do not use an electric mixer here. Half of our dry ingredients folded in, mixed well. We're going to add 3/4 cup of buttermilk. Fold this in, then the same with the rest of our dry. Don't over mix this. It's a little lumpy, but all the specks of flour are out. We're about there. Then we're going to split this as evenly as we can between our 2 cake pans. 320-degree oven, 30 minutes. Use the toothpick trick. When it's clean, it's done, but do not check this earlier than 25 minutes. It's just like the old sitcom trope. If you open this door too soon, it's going to deflate the cake. Done. Let them cool, just like this, 15 minutes. Then onto a cooling rack and let them cool for upwards of an hour. If you attempt to put icing on these now, it's going to melt and be a mess. Speaking of icing, 1 cup or 2 8-tablespoon sticks of butter at room temperature. We're going to beat and cream this together on its own. Perfect. Now we're going to start adding 4 1/2 cups of powdered sugar slowly. This mealy look, perfect. Then we're going to add 1 1/2 packages of cream cheese at room temperature. That's 12 ounces. 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla and 1 1/2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Then mix well again. Thick, light, fluffy, perfect. I'll be the first to tell you I am not a good cake icer. I don't even own a piping bag, but we'll see what we can do here. The first cake just gets a layer on top. Second cake goes on top. Then we're just going to do the best we can to cover the whole thing. Make sure we're hitting the sides. The only even sort of fancy thing I'm going to do is just take a spoon and give it some spikes here. Put it on a plate, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes. I don't want it cold, but I want it all to congeal and kind of come together. Red velvet cake. Serve it with a glass of milk. It's like a law. Red velvet cake. Oh yeah.